So it's 4:30 in the morning, and I'm heading down to Indiana. Going to meet up with Sean Riley of Sean Riley Outdoors. I met Sean, I don't know, a couple months ago on Instagram through a mutual friend. And Sean is an amazing bass fisherman. Not only that, he's a big buck killer. And Sean took my son out and helped him catch his personal best bass. And we just struck up a friendship, and he needed some help hanging some stands and prepping some areas. So I said, man, I'm all in. And then we're also going to go out and scout some public. So I'm hoping that I can hunt with Sean this year down in Indiana. I'll be down there for sure. Indiana's a state that I go to every year. And hopefully we get on some good public today. So I'm driving down to Sean's. It's about a 2-hour drive, about an hour and a half into it, and something dawned on me as I was driving down the highway that I drive. Man, I don't know how many times a year, right? It takes me out of Michigan, heading out to the rest of the United States. And when I drive that, I'm heading out for a hunting trip or scouting. And I remember the first 10 years of my career where going out of state to hunt was this mystical thing. It was this one-day thing. And I realized now that I had limiting belief system. When it came to hunting, I had a limited belief system that, you know what, I'll never be that good that I can travel out of state and kill a buck. Or, yeah, I'll never have the time, or I'll never have the means to do that. And it's funny that the belief system was the regulating thing. It is truly, simply a belief that kept me from doing what I wanted to do. And if I have a regret in life when it comes to my hunting, or really just in life in general, is that I've allowed limiting beliefs in different areas of my life to prevent me from really living the life that I want. So back to hunting really quick. I think a lot of hunters are stuck with a limiting belief. And that could be, well, there's no big bucks in my area. Let me just tell you that is false. It doesn't matter where you live. I live in Michigan, and yes, I know I hunt out of state quite a bit, but I do put a little time into Michigan, and I do use trail cameras, and I can tell you in some of the most pressured areas, I'm getting on, or at least getting pictures of, some amazing bucks. And when I hunt, I'm getting on some great bucks in Michigan. So it really doesn't matter where you live. There are big bucks where you are. Another limiting belief is that you don't have enough time. And that's a belief that I think is one that's so easy to overcome. And just evaluate your time. Like, write down for a 2-week time period what you did from the time you got up to the time you went to bed. And I bet you can discover that you have an hour or two that you can use for whatever you want to work on. And this is a great activity for any part of your life. But if you're struggling to find scouting time, if you do this audit and you find an hour and you use an hour a week all year, it's 52 weeks, it's 52 hours to get out, to scout, to learn new land, hang cameras, do whatever you want to do. And my guess is you're going to find more time than that. I mean, how many hours do you spend watching TV or your favorite sport or whatever? It's just about allocating a value to the time. So what do you value more? Do you value watching football more on Sunday? Or do you value this hunting experience that you want to have? And so this audit that we do about our beliefs and our time and where we place our value, if you do that, not only in the hunting world, but in your life, you will open up a whole new array of possibilities for yourself. And then it's really just checking these beliefs that you have. There's no big bucks in my area. Is that true? Is there really no big bucks in your area? I don't have the skills to become a hunter. Is that true? And if what does it take for that to be false? Well, I find a mentor. I read some books. I spend more time out in the woods. These things can all change. And again, you can use that in any piece of your life. I wish I would have found that out sooner. But I'm glad I found it out, because here I am heading out of state again to go meet with a guy, hang some stands, prep some areas, scout some public land, that I'm going to come back here and hopefully, and I believe, get a big buck down. What's going on, brother?
What's up? Great to see you.
Yeah,
How you doing? How was
good.
the drive?
Good. It was really good. About 2 hours. Easy.
Terrible.
Nope. So what are we getting into today?
Probably some wet corn.
Okay.
I'm gonna go pull a couple cameras first, move some cameras, set some stands, move some stands, maybe. We'll see when we get there if I want to move them or not. But
Nice.
it,
All right, out here with Sean Riley Outdoors. We're on some public now. Heading back to where I had a camera. It's been out here since like November. Batteries are dead. Praying that it's still there. We're probably gonna move it. And then the plan is to come back here end of October and hunt this area. So I'm gonna see if I can get Sean to pull off his honey holes, which by the way, I so badly wanted to show you today, but I didn't want to blow up his spot. Really awesome setups. So this is not going to be as awesome as the setup, but a little bit more adventurous. Took us, I don't know, I wasn't quite a mile to get here, I don't think, right? Half mile? Yeah, it's real nice. So we'll check back in once we get to the camera. Hopefully it's still there. I did not lock this one up, so sometimes you gotta live on the edge. All right, so we pushed into this finger. I've got a finger that runs out this way, and I got another finger that comes into this one. And on both sides of the finger and the side here is all cattail. So this is the first time I pushed in this deep. What I'm looking for right now is a scrape. I've got a run that runs up and down, which would be north and south on this finger. I got a faint run, which I like, that runs to the east, or excuse me, to the west, this way. To the east, I've got cattails and bedding out there. So it all kind of comes together right here. What I noticed about this place is I'm not seeing really any significant rubs at all. I've lost some historical stuff, but nothing new over the last year. So right now I'm gonna walk around until I find the scrape. And here I am on an oak tree with enough low-hanging branches that I should have a licking branch. This should be a scrape, but I'm just not finding it. So we'll keep looking here. So here we are. This is what I just learned from DJ Riley as well, is that the scrapes right now are going to be full of water, but it's they'll still come in here and hit this here. Yep. So full of water up to ankle, but that's you can see where he tore it up right there. He's nipped off these ends. This is broken, hanging down. Yep. So I wonder, even hanging a trail camera right there if we can't find nothing else. Yep, that just went over the boots. Ooh, we're getting wet.
Way over the boots.
Oh. Wet.
So it's not.
This is nasty. So pretty thick back here now, but we've got a run that comes down here off of like another little peninsula, and then behind the camera is a cattail swamp. And I got a run that runs north and south here, and then this run runs east and west. And then we've got two scrapes. We got one here that's pretty predominant. You can still see even in all this thick shit. And then we got another one over there that's kind of a smaller one. So we're gonna set up the camera here and then come back. And the plan is to hunt this in like the last week of October. So I like to get these a little higher. So we'll come back and hunt this area, and like I said, it's a crisscrossing of peninsula land bridges that run through all around us 360s cattail swamp. And so getting back here is, like Sean was saying, it's a pain in the butt. I don't see any sign like of human sign, any kind of pressure back here. But this is, I mean, there's probably two ways to get in here. You can pop around at two different spots. After that, you've ruined the spot. So you really got to choose the right time to come in here. And I would imagine for me, this spot's going to be something that I build data over for the next couple years. The sign just isn't here, but I believe just based off of the land that we're on, the history of the property that we're on, and the way the topography lays out, that it just doesn't matter that the sign isn't here. I think this is still going to produce during that last week of October and then into November. I actually think even late November, when the rut's still going on and those big boys are moving, that you'll see some action through here. So we'll see. I'll report back in October and we'll find out if I'm worth my salt or not. Just a little high. Listen, just scream if it goes over your head until I find you.
I'll hold my water bottle up so you can see it.
I told you, that's why people don't like to hunt with me.
It's about a week for deer season start.
I'm a nice guy until then. And everybody hates me, especially when I call you to help me drag one out.